Hawk could pop off with this IO combination. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, I'm not sure if you noticed, John, but Cox did go back for the other facet, so doesn't go for the magic missile facet. That's all right. I would have liked to see it, but turns out he wants to be a bit more serious about it. It's fine.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I did try that magic missile facet, and it does feel good. I just think the Soul Strike feels so much better. Like it just feels so good. Like 1.5 BAT, a 0.2 the reduction is just huge in how you play lanes. Okay?
Not to mention, you feel like you're in Dota All Stars when you pick that facet, don't you, John? It takes you back.
Yeah,
it takes me
all
back
the way
too.
back.
It was a good feeling to see that. Shout out to whoever came up with that idea. From Valve, that is. Cox, he's going to go for a flank. Gish, we gotta be careful. That's a lot of damage with the Sleight of Fist, and Yoe actually got the Bounty Rune as well. 3 for 1 is the trade-off. Jing, he'll go for a bit of a run. Zorain doing a fair bit of damage, but Jing will be just fine. That's kind of another thing you can't underestimate. Like, in fact, they keep going.
Oh, God.
Cox, he's back. Zorain's dead. And Kish, Time Walk in 1. He should be fine, but man, that's a lot of damage. And he's got no regen. He has 0 regen on this Void.
Yeah. They only got the 1 bounty as well. And he still manages to get enough for the Tanguis to come in. And with the TP of Zorain will be fine. But look at the damage on Cox. I know we're looking at mid, but I want to talk about his Venge. 70 damage in lane, right? An attack every 1.06 seconds. How do you trade? How do you trade with that? And that's just with double circlet, double branch, 1 slipper Vagi. Once you hit like your Great Band Bracer, it feels so obnoxious. This Venge just does so much right click damage. You have to respect it. Still, again, we were looking at mid. Should talk about that mid. Very boring lane, mind you. DK versus Ember. Yoe on that Ember up against Young PH and DK. Young PH should hold steady. Yoa did go for Chain Gang this time around, so looking for more control for his team, which I do get, but otherwise a very static lane. Rune control a little bit more important for Yoa. Young PH shouldn't be shoved out of this lane whatsoever. Just going to be down to farm. Maybe you get a rotation out by 5 to 6, but beyond that, you're just poking, prodding, and farming up happily here.
Kind of stupid. Like, this Chain Gang facet's kind of ridiculous. Like, 4 chains? Kind of nuts. It's top lane, Zorain's dead again. Here's the thing, like this minus armor between Jing and Cox, like it is very overwhelming. Like the Swarm plus the Wave of Terror. Like if this Disruptor gets a little bit too close and the Magic Missile lands, he's just dead. It happens so quickly too.
And there's no counterplay. And that's without anyone having a Blightstone as well. Not even necessary. Just have enough minus armor on hand with just your abilities. It's going to be a bit of a hellish lane for Zorain. Kish should still be able to find some semblance of farm, but not the comfiest of times here for a Faceless Void for sure. Last lane, we have Lookout down bot. Skill Lei and Ha on the IO Legion Commander, which can be an overwhelming combination up against Palos on his Tiny and Cuckoo on the Phoenix. Cuckoo does go for the hotspot, as it does feel really busted. It doesn't feel necessary for the Dying Light here. So you will have a lot of sustain. You'll have a lot of burn for that DK down the line. On the 1v1 scenario for Ha and for Palos, there's not much concern for Palos here, at least.
Zorain's just being abused right now top lane. Like, Jing's just chasing him down with the support wave, but not leaving him alone. Like, there's nothing he can do. It's either you sit by the T1 tower and soak XP off your Void, or you just run across and don't die. Is Yoe mid lane chasing down Young PH, but Young PH is alright. He will survive. Yoet just was waiting for the chains to be off cooldown again, but it wasn't quite there. In the meantime, though, the lanes have been going pretty badly, I would argue, for YG. Like, the CS doesn't make it look too bad, but when you think about how much harassment's being traded, it is certainly very favorable for TNC Predator.
And that it is. This top start for Cox is overwhelming. 20-12, 21-12 in terms of CS. Up against a 12-1 Void. Almost times 2 on Kish.
Zorain
it's just maddening.
Away. He's going to be alright. Zorain will make it. Very, very close call though. As Horn out, bottom lane, in danger, trying to survive. Not quite. Skill late. Had no regen to throw out. So the LC will die. That's even worse news because your LC was having a semi-decent time, but not so much anymore.
No, certainly not. All the lanes for Yangon just feeling a lot slower than you'd want them to be here. And I don't know, like, you're going to need a lot of farm on Kish. You're going to need at least the Blade Mail, Phase Boots on Ha. Once you have 6, you're going to have to try to look for relocate plays to start to catch up here. Maybe when Young PH hits like around level 8 on DK is when you'd expect maybe a level 6 to be up for skill A. What's up? What
happened? It's all rain, dude. I feel so bad for the Disruptor. Every time he sees Jing, he's rushing to press glimpse. And now he's lost his courier. Like, you can see how afraid he gets every time Jing approaches him. It's just immediate glimpse at every single time. No hesitation.
He can't do anything. You know, that's your gameplay right now. It's this Disruptor. At least he's the one copying the attention. There's a little bit of room for Kish. Not much. Some room for him to at least try to build up. I don't know. It's still a free run for Cox going into power treads. They are rotating down onto mid.
Oh boy. Young PH dropping is not a good feeling if you are YG. And that's what I'm saying about this support Weaver. It's just too much. Zoraina, get House to Glimpse away. It's just like, get the hell away from me.
It's not like Jing even cares with how low Shikuchi's cooldown is, so still gonna be able to chase around like a maniac. Again, the lanes overwhelmingly in TNC's favor. Only really Ha having some play down bot. Some good semblance of farm here for the LC, but way behind in levels. Already rotating up top as well with Cuckoo showing up. Nice forward ward. Wants to find more kills here.
It's alright. What's he meant to do? What's he meant to do, man? He can't do anything. Kish. Run, Kish. He'll time lapse or time walk away rather, but the chase continues. Magic Missile is up in 5. They've got Wave of Terror back up and available. If Cox can get within range, and he certainly can, Cuckoo will be able to secure the kill. These minus armor strats, you tend to forget about them, but the moment you see it again, I mean, it's just, Jing, what are you doing? Get the hell out of there. Just tanking T1 tower hits.
Just for laughs, you know? Just for a bit of a giggle. We'll go for a reset. Love these wards coming out. Look at these ward lines from TNC. Again, this is something we've seen from them even during their time as Darling. Good line across the top, cutting off any farm spots. There is room to farm. Push out mid now. Young PH with the Dragon form and the Kritzkrieg Ayo are able to melt through the tier 1, but Yoa is ready to play.
T1 mid
Just
tower
doesn't have
is
his teammates.
He does not. He's by himself. His team is not coming. Yoa trying for a deny. Will get stunned off immediately. He'll be okay. There's no real threat of him dying. He's got a remnant ready to go whenever. But a pretty big pick up there for YG. They're able to finally find the mid tier 1 tower. It is to be somewhat expected considering you do have a Dragon Knight, of course, but still very important nonetheless.
Yeah. Does open up a little bit more tempo for the side of Yangon. They can invade into that bot jungle a little bit more confidently. They've got the Watcher under control. They already have some forward wards here to enable themselves to play, sneak around. They are still not quite at the dual point for Ha. You can't really go in for some big relocate plays yet, not that you have the levels on your IO anyhow. And again, that's the hurting point here for Yangon. You've got the strong start for your DK as they get the glimpse on Cuckoo.
Cuckoo will just accept the fact that he is dead. No real chance of getting out of that one. Sort of pick up from the YG boys. It seems like the big fear right now is going to be how you deal with Cox. Like, Cox is going to be a huge issue. He's building an Echo Saber as well, I think.
Yeah, that's the way to go. This Echo Saber gets some stats up as a universal type. I wouldn't mind early Ags, can be a lot of utility as well. They are chasing bot.
This would be a great pickup if they can get it. Problem is, Hor has not got within range for the jewel. He does eventually get there, but YG have already given up on the chase, and now, well, the T1 tower is under siege, but the TPs are incoming. Jing, oh, the immediate glimpse back. Zorain, not messing around, gets rid of that pesky bug. He will reveal the fact that he's got wards on the high ground, but it won't matter too much. Yoe now showing up, will show underneath that dire vision. But immediately just retreats. Doesn't want to borrow this. His mid lane, Kish now fighting Yoe. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they are still chasing Cuckoo. Eventually with the stun flying out and the duel committed, they will be able to secure a very nice victory here for Hor.
are getting whatever they can find. It's important first duel win for Ha. Not the biggest target, but certainly something to get the ball rolling here for the side of Yangon, as they will find a tier 1 in exchange. I'm just concerned about all of the space being provided to these bigger cores. Like, again, Palos, he has decent farming space on a tiny. He went for no avalanche, some value points in toss, really focusing on tree grab his core, so maximizing his farm potential. Cox, free reign up top. Echo Saber not too far off. And Yoa not under any pressure at all. You don't have the best control for this Ember until level 6 is up on Zarain, which is so slowly creeping up at the very least, so the static storm threat can come into play there, but not quite. 6-2 net worth lead. It's not the biggest for TNC at the least, and for Yangon, again, the important thing is finding some space for Kish to build up and to get these initial timings on young PH, if at all possible.
Be a 6-2 scoreline for now. 1k advantage the way of TNC Predator. Cox still top of the net worth board on the Venge. Getting an extremely good game, of course, working on towards that Aghanim Scepter, which makes the hero feel unbelievably annoying to try and deal with. Kish, still trying to farm up towards his Maelstrom timing, of course, on the Void. He is very far behind. At 3.8k net worth is what the Void currently has. It's not a very good start at all for a Faces Void, and a very slow kind of catch-up game now for him. Especially against the Tiny of Palos, who is currently looking towards Hor down at that bottom lane. Hor, he's got skill later come in, but the Avalanche, of course, is going to land on 2. And it might just be a 2-for-1 special in a moment. The skill late, going to pop the overpower and run, but they've got at least the Iron. So Hor gets his way out. Skill late, not so much.
Get some decent punishment out. Again, only the supports falling in the last few fights. Some key items finally coming in. Echo Saber done on Cox. Ha does have the full blade nail, so you can have a little bit more confidence in taking some bigger duels, but has to be a little bit cautious of how far forward he goes. No threat without Yoe. Still playing in the line of fire. And so much space given out here for Cox, and a little bit surprising. Kish is forced to go for like 4-1-1 build, pocketing 1 skill point to see if he can get away without Chrono. Might be able to use that Chrono now if he skills it up.
This would love yourself a bench kill. They'll jump in. Cox will get a magic missile out onto the DK. Will try to run, but eventually they should have the damage output as the Venge will finally go down. Looking for a deny even as Cox with skill A will take the aggro from the creeps. So Kish going to be very happy seeing that Venge finally dying. Hopefully YG can start to play off of this. Bottom, they are. Cuckoo being jeweled up here by Hor. And it won't lead to a duel victory, but it does lead to a kill.
Yeah, and again, you'll take what you can get on Yangon, considering how far behind you are. Just a little bit slow on the relocate out, but still does manage to make it work. Still up top.
Still late, gonna lose his life. Kish rather able to get away at the very least. So they'll take the IO kill once again, but Kish will not get caught with his pants down. Still a very slight lead for the side of TNC Predator. But again, nothing to write home about. I think that's still the main concern, and I know you've already kind of said this, but Palos is probably the main concern, because you compare the farm compared to the Void, he's already over 1k ahead. Not crazy.
Yeah. Definitely not. Echo Saber already up, so his farming pace is already up there. Into the Shadow Blade, probably into the Silver Edge this game. Palos is going to be hitting like a truck relatively soon, considering all the space given. The kills for White here are nice, it's not in the targets they'd want. You want to punish this Tiny early on, while Craggy Exterior is at level 1 with Gruul at level 1, and before the damage mitigation really becomes an issue. You've got Static Storm ready in Zarain. You can kind of look for a play onto Yoe if he presents himself. It's just the cores on TNC are being relatively conservative. You know, hanging in jungle, protected by sentries and wards. Only really Cox maybe in the firing line. So they can't really angle for these higher value targets. For Yangon Galacticos has skill late. Just gets poked a little bit.
He's going to be just fine. I suppose if you're YG, you're more than happy to just take your time with this style of game, considering you know that Kish is going to be able to outscale practically anyone on the Void. And I kind of say that. The thing is, like, even the supports like Jing on the Weaver, at some stage you do start to transition into a core. It can be very annoying to deal with as well, comparatively to, say, the IO Disruptor, which don't.
Yeah. I think one thing as well holding YG back is that it doesn't look like they're confident enough to try to force something with early chrono. I feel like they've got the damage for early chrono though. Like again, Static Storm is a follow through or a setup for it. You've got some damage on Young PH. You can kind of finagle a duel off the back of the chrono as well if someone's alive after it. There's a value point picked up now by Kish. So it does have something to play with, and they are trying to engage here.
Certainly are. Zorain will go down already. Palos able to pick up one. A skill lay will follow. Cuckoo able to pick up that one. And now Young PH. The TP cancellation is out from Cox. That'll be a third kill to go the way of TNC Predator. I'll tell you what, they made that fight look very easy, John. No rule contest that time around.
I'm surprised they were still hanging around at bot jungle. They couldn't get their wards down. That's when Skillay was, running up into the ramp, getting poked by Yoa. That should already have sent warning bells as to trying to play in that area. They still forced the issue.
Jewel out, bottom lane. 4. Very nice pickup for himself with the Blade Mail. Able to close the gap on the Weaver, secures a nice little duel victory. And gets the blink up on the LC now. So you've got some nice gap close here on the LC. Some nice initiation. And of course, considering the state of the game for YG, like, you do want Hor to start to pop off on this LC. He could be a big deal.
You do. Is rushing into the Ags, so wants that debuff immunity, wants a longer duration duel just to pin someone down, which I do appreciate here for Ha. As long as he gets the room to farm it up. Does feel like the map space being gained by TNC is still significant. And your sacrifices on Kish is still huge. This Faceless Void is still bottom network 4. Not by a huge margin, only about 800 gold, but still a cause of concern.
Young PH. Oh, he's absolutely melting. At least the IO Relocate going to be able to save. But you see with the Spirit Vessel Sunray, it's just so much damage. They're going to TP mid to try and maybe help out. Maybe save the IO or use him as bait. Hor is here. He's got Blink Jewel up available now. Young PH going to jump in. They will Jewel out Yoe. The Sunray is out there with the egg being committed in the Avalanche toss. The Chrono, it's committed, but is it enough? It will finally be enough to take Yoe down. But at what cost? The chase will continue. They'll try to go after Young PH. Skillay will try to save on the IO. They might lose Cuckoo here, though. Cuckoo's still fighting Young PH as they do take them both down. It's a 2-for-4 trade. Like, you get Yoe on the Ember, but it costs you 4 heroes. In fact, it might be 5. Kish is down. It's a full team wipe.
What was Kish still hanging around there? Swap was still available. They managed to get the perfect chain of events. The coordination from TNC, Palace standing right by to instantly get the toss out. You get the full team wipe. Getting the activity out on this Tiny, reminding YG that Palos is still in the game. Has the Shadow Blade flying out now, going straight into an SNY. And you've got the full Ags for Cox with the disassembly on the Echo Saber. So things are just swimming now for the side of TNC. So much damage on this bench. They have swap saves here.
They certainly do. Cox will save the life of Jing for now, as Hor not going to be too happy with that dual cancellation. And now the chains out, blocking both of them down. Oh, it could be another nasty fight as Hor is already gone. Skillay will try to run with the Spirit Vessel from Jing and the chase down from the Weaver. He's just not done. He will drop though. But they will find Skillay. No, they won't. No, they will. Cox will get...
Oh.
Cox will barely get him with the Wave of Terror.
Yeah, he needed to die. Cox needed to die for the mana. He was completely out, so I don't think he minds that at all, although it's still a nice little pickup.
Top. Gish. Watch out, Gish.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he's all right.
Oh,
he makes it. He barely makes it. Palos now the one in danger. Palos. We're going to have a talk, sir.
Is he?
I mean, he's in danger, John. He's taken some damage. He's down. Oh. Cuckoo will need to have a word.
That took... Another head slap in line. Move that camera further down. Make it darker. That did take longer than you'd expect, though. Again, Craggy Exterior, even at only level 2 damage reduction, is still huge. 4% per stack. 0 damage coming out there from Kish. needed the Static Storm on top. They're getting ready to swap out on
Not Horde. I mean, Horde just feels so important for this team. Like, you really need to start popping off on this LC, but it's just not happening. Stuck at 20 dual damage. He's not going to be too happy with himself as now Jing going to find Zorain. Zorain should be okay this time, though Jing seems like he wants to continue chasing. In fact, Cuckoo is here, so is Yoe, and Zorain is gone. As Jing will try and go on to Young BH, but Kish is going to be around. The Sunray will not be enough to help them out of the chains to lock them down. Now the DK, he's just melting to the damage. It's too much. They'll even drop the egg to relocate. They relocate the DK, and they've had enough. Get him out of there. Kish will stick around to try and give a nice tether target. He has to be careful because Yoe does have the chains up. Kish, do you want a chrono? He'll jump in. They do find Yoe. Yoe for now in trouble. Will try to find a remnant. The Jewel will lock him down. They'll take down the Emperor. Onto Cox they'll go. Cox, he'll swap out. Kish? What? Kish? It's alright. That's okay. He's still looking. Cox in the meantime. He'll go into Horde. They'll find Cuckoo as well, but the Cuckoo does Icarus. Oh, Kish, no.
Oh my god.
Zorain is down. Cox does not care about dying because he has the axe up. What was that?
Oh.
What?
I don't know. It felt like he had it felt like Kish had the opportunity to get some big chronos in there. Never found the angle afterwards. And that time walk to the side, maybe thrown off by the swap? That's the only justification I can see. It does not feel good for Yangon. It's still an important set of kills to find. You kill off Yoe, you kill off the off lane and Cox, you kill off Cuckoo, but you lose way too much in exchange. Like, can't just really awkward circumstances. They had the right ideas in trying to set up for the counterfight, instant TPs out, but Kish kind of hesitates. Again, very good discipline out from the side of TNC to split apart, not give any clear chrono. This time walk, that was just awkward.
It was wrong. The thing is, like, you kill Cox, he doesn't really care. As long as he has that remnant, it's like he never really went anyway. The one thing I hate playing against a bench support over is this, like, you just get an axe up, and suddenly it's like, yeah, we killed her, but we didn't really. She's still here.
No. Yeah, it still does a lot of damage. Still a lot of utility with swaps, with Magic Missile, especially as the short starts to come along. Down the line, 24-14, 10k lead. TNC looking to make a play out with a smoke. Linken's being formed up by Yoa to protect from that duel now. It's still lacking the recipe. Already, again, have the Yasha up on Palos.
Notice how they're smoked even though Chrono's up. Like, they're not at all afraid of Kish's Chrono.
It doesn't feel like it even matters. Again, if you chrono out the Tiny, who cares? If you chrono out Yoe, you have swap. Like, as long as Cox is outside, you're relatively happy with that circumstance. You know there's no damage on its Faceless Void. Still bottom network core. Still not at level 20 for the AT attack speed bonus and chrono. Like, there's no threat in it just yet. It doesn't feel like your damage from outside is that amazing either.
That it does not. Yoe currently watching Kish up at top lane. It's like Roshan might just get started here by TNC now. TNC will head right into the pit. Seems like YG maybe just having no idea this is actually happening, and quite frankly, even if they did, I do not believe they can really contest. So Roshan will freely go the way of YG, or excuse me, rather TNC. On the bright side, this has bought time for Horde to finish off his Aghanim Scepter now in the LC, so these jewels should be a lot safer. He should just be able to guarantee himself a kill every time, or at least guarantee that he can lock somebody down every time without just instantly dying. Even a BKB now up on Young PH, also going to feel very, very nice. But TNC, still 11k ahead. Still looking to push through this bottom lane.
Yeah, not much to really hold them back. They've got all their spells back up. They've got Egg ready to go. They've got the damage to deal with Palace up front and with Cox around as well. Just going to be able to clear these objectives. For the side of Yangon, again, when we saw this draft, it has to be execution. It has to be really good chronos, really good static storm usage, very good dual pickoffs that has to come out here for that success to start to pour in. on the side of Yangon.
Even with the free
If
shots.
they want to have that hope for game 3.
How does that work anyway? Like
That always feels good.
he's second in net worth and he gets the shots over his
Yeah.
supports. Like, how does that work? Like, Jing doesn't have one. Why didn't Jing get it?
No, so all the other cores had it. It's down to just Cox and Jing, and it's a coin flip.
Wow.
He just wins the coin flip, you know? Higher skill.
I mean, that bouncing magic missile is so annoying to play against. Like, it's
So
just-
good.
It really is nice. I must admit.
It's so good to get it for free on a core Venge as well. You don't want to waste 1,400 gold on that, as you do want more stats to Universal Carry type, right? So you get to save the 1.4k, you get even more utility off the Ags, of course, as well as Cox might break the smoke.
Well, they're going to jump in with the Jewel. The problem is he still has the remnant to play with, and that's
Static
a big
Storm?
Sun Ray. Static Storm being dropped here on the Venge of all things, who's already dead. Young BH forced to BKB, and now a relocate away. Very messy from YG. Very, very messy. Cox is moving. He might lose his rep. Never mind.
Oh,
he
he
bought
bought
back.
back.
He bought back. Cox is in. Giga Chad Cox. Chrono committed. Who are they going on? Kish. He'll focus down the egg first. Cuckoo is gone. But Kish is in trouble. Run, sir. The magic missile will land. No follow-up to it, though. They'll even buy back on the IO, but Yo is looking for a dieback immediately on skill lane. Not able to find it. But TNT, they are not backing off. Paul will jump in for overwhelming odds, but he just gets annihilated. It's maybe Palos. He might die the first time, or maybe not. Maybe he'll just survive as Cox again. Cox! This man is too hard to deal with sometimes, I'll tell ya. With that, mid-rax is down. Onto the
my
tier 3
God.
tower you go. I mean, what do you care about the extended respawn timer, right? He has a remnant. Who cares?
It doesn't matter. This is what I love about Venge with the Ags. Just these quirky buyback opportunities. Palos, he's not dying yet.
No, he's not. But the IO
Oh my
skill lane is
God.
gone. Young PH is gone. Zero Rain is gone. This game is looking gone because Hor gets called out. Now Hor is down. TNC with the full team wipe once again. And nobody really dies as Kish is now getting tipped by Cox. Cox without remorse. And it seems as though TNC Predator, Jonathan, they might be proceeding through to the lower bracket quarterfinal. Not yet,
What storyline?
but they're close.
And this is the content we were looking for from TNC. Yangon, so much promise. Again, they managed to beat down this team in the open qualifiers 2-0, no contest. But TNC have learned. TNC have course corrected. Master Cuckoo studied, made the new plan. They are digging into those tier 4s. Chrono half a minute away. They do have Static Storm, but something miraculous needs to happen in this execution here for Yangon to hold off.
I don't think it's happening, but they're going to try here. John Kish, he just time walks back immediately, not seeing the opening as the Static Storm will be dropped, but is it really doing anything? I don't think it is. Zorain is gone. Kish is still trying to hit them, but he's doing no damage. He's literally tickling Palos right now as Kish is down. He'll buy back. He'll try one last time, but Chrono's 5 seconds away. He still has it on cooldown. Maybe they have a chance. The Ancient is still surviving for now, but surely not for long as Kish is down.
Oh my
GG
God.
is called. Good luck next is the call as TNC Predator will now proceed through to the lower bracket quarterfinal.